Alright, so today we're going to show you something insanely great. We're excited to show you how we use a lean model canvas to create our product Portal, which is enabling hands-free public entry access into all buildings.
So we started our business model journey by interviewing a few of our friends here at BYU. And we found that the current accessibility door opening solution was still a big pain. Our friend Dan didn't have the strength to press the buttons. Kendra said the door always closes on her. And AJ showed us how awkward the buttons are really placed. So we identified 3 pains from this, and that's the ability to press the button, it closing on you because of how awkwardly it's placed. And we met a researcher here at BYU who showed us that 1 in 10 buttons don't even work. So we needed to validate this. So we reached out to over 300 different people with mobility disabilities, and they volunteered these same pains to the tune of 79% of them.
We knew there had to be a better way. We made a goal to create a device that allowed a user to enter a building without having to push a button. And after about a dozen prototypes, we created this. We can attach this to the existing motors, and the users can download a smartphone app, so when they approach the door, it'll open automatically. This next video will show our very first prototype in action. Kylie can approach the door and have it open hands-free, and listen to what she says as she describes this experience. Alright, so Kylie, if you had to give me one word about how that experience was, what would it be? You can think for a second.
A life changer.
So no matter how much Kylie or anyone loves this, they can't just go around and install it themselves. It had to come from the people who were responsible for accessibility. So we met Paula from UVU, their accessibility director, and found that she has so little budget and so little staff that it's really hard for her to keep UVU all the way accessible. So we took this to 67 other accessibility directors, and 78% of them expressed similar pains. So now that we knew the pain, we knew that we needed to test to see if our solution actually even helped. So we took our rough prototype you saw earlier to an international higher education accessibility conference. We were the bells of the ball. They loved what we were doing, they loved us, and so through those 4 days, the 5 of us were able to get 188 15-minute in-person interviews. And what we found was that accessibility directors are only one piece of the purchasing puzzle. Almost always, accessibility directors partner with their facilities management team to make purchasing decisions. So they always influence each other. You can probably guess what we did next.
So we want you to meet Craig. Craig is a facilities manager here at BYU, and his department approves all purchases for hardware that attaches to doors. Craig is aware of the limitations, but he doesn't really have much choice. Right now, he simply says, sorry, I can't really do much, nothing accommodates you. So we went out and we interviewed 52 more facilities managers from universities all across the US. And they repeatedly told us, when you have hundreds of doors, it's hard to know when and where they're broken. The limited choice of hardware hinders their accessibility compliance, and whatever is available is super expensive. So we learned that for a campus to implement a solution, these 3 parties have to be on board, and we have to solve deep pains for this. So how could one product solve the pains for all 3 of these people?
The only way that you can create a product for everyone is thousands of hours of validation and research. So as we've gone through that, we've created Portal. No longer does someone need to approach a building and be worried whether or not they can actually get inside because of a door. With our smartphone app and our device installed in the motor, as someone approaches the door, it will open and then it will not close until they're safely through. So from a user standpoint, it had to be incredibly easy to onboard from our research. So all they do is download the app, give us permissions, and then it will run in the background and open the doors. Additionally, we found that they wanted to be able to report when the doors were broken, so we created a super simple reporting platform that goes right to the people who are in charge of maintenance. For Paula and Craig, the solution creates less anxiety on their campus. It's more accessible, and instead of waiting for the next angry student to call them about being stuck in the snow outside the door because something is broken, now they receive the alerts ahead of time.
So can Portal be profitable? Obviously, we're going to have salaries to cover, software expenses to cover, and our current hardware cost is about $15 a unit. So how did we find out? We simply called people who had never heard of our product before, offered them, and seen how much they'd be willing to pay. And after I called 73 accessibility directors and 38 more facilities managers, the average willingness to pay was $500 a unit. You don't believe me? Here's a check from Southern Utah University. They purchased 4 of our doors for $500 a piece last week. here's the issue. When you have a campus with 400 doors, spending $500 on each one is a huge upfront cost. We wanted to make our product more affordable. So we worked with our customers to be able to lower the upfront cost of a $100 hardware fee that the facilities can pay, and then have the accessibility center pay $50 a door a year to be able to use the software they provide and provide the app for free to their users.
A lot of people ask why universities. This is a strategic decision because at universities just in the US, there's over 300,000 potential installs. And universities are known as the early adopter of accessibility technology in this space. Also, we knew that there'd be a lot of users, so we could prototype and iterate much quicker than somewhere else. So as we're growing, there's two metrics we're really focused on. The number of doors, which is 12 at 2 different universities, and the number of daily active users, which is 3. So with this attractive market, we wanted to make sure that we could protect ourselves. So we worked with our IP attorney and found that mobile app to open a public entryway is something that's patentable, and we're working on a few other things. We're also really one of the first movers in this space.
Conferences have been invaluable as our sales channel. Imagine having hundreds of your customers all in one place. Cold calls and emails have actually been very effective. And we've even received calls from universities we've never talked to through free word-of-mouth marketing. We currently are running 2 beta tests at local universities, and in the next 3 to 4 months, we're partnering with Stanford and Arizona to roll out larger beta tests. These are schools all around the nation that are asking for demos and beta tests of our product to be able to get our units installed on their campus. We've actually taken down our website and stopped marketing just to be able to catch up with the current demand that we have.
So this is our business model canvas. We've gone through this iterative process. It's in our blood now, and it will continue to be our process as we move forward. And this is our team. We have a great IP litigator, a researcher, and an entrepreneur, and someone who's good at this. Just to finish, as far as the crowd favorite goes, we've decided that if we get your vote and we win, we'll use the $500 to purchase the hardware necessary to install here at BYU. So that our friends and your friends can have this today. Thank you.
I didn't understand how you got past Craig said no, Paula said she didn't have the budget, to a yes. I missed that jump. Where did you get the yes? Because you were saying, no, we won't do this, we can't pay for it, and then all of a sudden you're selling them. So what did I miss in the middle?
Let me give you a quick example. So one door, simply one motor, one button, that setup is about $3,500 per door. And so when you have a campus, they're spending millions of dollars every 5 years to replace these. When we first talked to them, we actually weren't presenting our solution. We simply got to know their pains in providing these solutions. And so that's why we worked with them. We were trying to get the upfront cost as low as possible. For example, Pola can approve up to $30,000 in budget spending without asking anybody. And so when our solution is a low upfront cost and has a simple licensing fee, she can nod her head and say yes because she loves what we're doing and she doesn't need to take it to a meeting to get budget approval.
And that's very typical.
So I have the same question. So you're lowering your $400 upfront cost or whatever. You're lowering that, and it's $50 a month or whatever you said. Are those the right numbers?
Yes.
What is that upfront cost now?
So to be clear, we're instead of charging $500 one fee one time, we're charging $100 upfront for the hardware and then $50 a door a year to be able to have the users use the app for free and provide the web portal that the accessibility directors can manage their users. And so over the course of 5 to 10 years, we're actually just as profitable, but it provides us really the lifeblood of recurring revenue to be able to sustain our product and provide ongoing service to our customers.
Great.
How big is the market for other public access locations like retail, things like that?
It's about $2 billion a year just in activators. So the button is considered an activator. So every year about $2 billion in the US is spent.